Hey, Curtis, could you talk more on what to look for in soils? I know you talked about it before in your videos, but it's nice thing to go back to while many people are still buying their soil and test. Is testing the soil beneficial for guaranteeing an increase in crop yield? If so, what testing kits would you suggest? The normal NPK kits be sufficient, or do you recommend hiring someone to come? My goals are to expand. I know I'll be coming back to this in saved notes next year. My father owns a 10-acre plot of land to use for me anytime, but I decided to just focus on learning. So I'm doing a 25 square foot of beds in my backyard now, and I want to make the least mistakes, but I know they are unavoidable. Dude, that's a great setup. Good for you. That's really smart. You got your little 2,500 square foot garden where you can demo some of this, knowing that you can get onto the farm. That's great. You got a little laboratory you can basically learn on. That's brilliant. The soil testing, I'm not even doing it up at the new farm. The reason why is I have farmed in that area before. The farmer that I'm leasing the land from knows his land. And he's grown annual veg and all kinds of perennials there for a very long time. So I'm not concerned about it. Plus, I've turned over so many pieces of land that I've just learned to trust my gut. Having said all that, you're not in that position. So I would say, yeah, get yourself an NPK kit, get yourself a pH kit. If your dad doesn't say anything like if there's no reason to be concerned about contaminants or particular or any strange particular anomalies with your soil, I would say you're probably fine with an NPK and a pH. Yeah, you can test for organic matter, but what's the point? Like that's how I see it. What's the point of testing for organics when I'm going to put the same amount of compost in when I start a farm anyways? And I don't know. A lot of people really get into that stuff. Like I said, if there isn't a reason to be concerned about contamination, organic matter, micronutrient levels, these are some of the things that you could hire an agronomist to do, or an ag extension agent. I mean, the way I see it is it's not like I'm going to put less compost in, I'm putting down an inch on these new beds. I'm going to do that anyways. Whether I got a soil test and that test came back and said, oh, you've got 12% organic matter, or it came back and said you've got 5% organic matter, it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to put the same amount of compost in. As for micronutrients, I don't really care because I know I can bring those things in through the products, the fertilizers I use and the compost I use. I'm going to bring those things in. Same for the macronutrients. If I would have thought, for me, I can tell if soil is nitrogen deficient just by looking at it, or just by looking at what's growing in it. That's just me through a lot of experience and just seeing varying circumstances. And also in my area, we don't have a lot of serious soil problems. Some places that have, I'm just thinking of some examples, like Ray Tyler down in Selmer, Tennessee. He's got some extreme circumstances in his bioregion, primarily heavy rain that can really wash soil out. And so you can come in and have soil very depleted of primary nutrients that you need to grow crops. And there's a big case to be made that those have to be put back to a level where a plant can grow in. And there's also a lot of stressors down in those parts of the world that I don't have to deal with in my climate. So context is important when considering it. If you can find an agronomist that'll do those kinds of tests to you and it's worth it to you, do it. You'll learn something from it for sure. But is it something I do on a regular basis? Not at all. But I love your plan, and I think you're really smart doing it that way. You got your 2,500 square foot. You got your food security going. If the shit hits the fan, you go up to your old man's place and get it going with him. And you'll learn a lot in the process. So right on.